my life, removing pain. Lord, let my words heal a heart that hurts. I want to spend my life mending broken people. I want to spend my life mending broken people.
Hello and welcome to another 3ABN Today program. I'm Jason Bradley and here with me is Nicole Braxton. And Nicole, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yes, well, I'm so excited to be here today. So I am the founder of Around the World in 7 Days and ROC, which stands for Restore Our Community Crew.
Okay.
We're a local ministry in the Metro Detroit area, and our goal is to share a message of health and restoration with the community. We do it through wellness workshops and food production.
Okay.
So those are our two main things. Basically, just really combining this message of health with biblical principles and how we can be whole, combining the both.
Okay. We actually have a picture from one of your events that we're going to put up.
Oh, nice.
So we can take a look at that. Nice. Now, what is going on here? What event was this?
So this was actually our first pop-up restaurant. That happened in downtown or in midtown Detroit. It was a huge success by God's grace, and it was actually a miracle. When we first started out with the event, we had about 4 reservations for a space that was meant to seat a lot more. And so I was contemplating, I was like, God, do you really want me to go forward with this? I don't know, like I want to share a message with the community, but we only have 4 reservations. So I was thinking, you know, I can't imagine a big room being empty, so maybe I should cancel it. But as we got closer to it, the week of, the following week, after we had 4 reservations, I prayed and someone called and they asked for 7. And then after that, it actually went to 70 seats.
Wow.
And we actually had to go from one location to another because we sold out of the other one. So it was just a huge, that's to me is a community event, pop-up restaurant that just really was evidence that God was moving and working alive and well. So yeah, that's
From
one of our
4 to
events.
7 to 70.
Yeah, and I'm so thankful for everyone that helped put that event together. I mean, it takes an army, so very
Absolutely.
thankful. Yeah.
Have you always been big on the community?
Yes, I just think there's such huge power about community, and which is why I love this Thanksgiving episode, because when I think of food, I think about, you know, bringing people together around something that's delicious. I love food.
Oh yeah, I
you
do
know,
too.
and so one of the things I like to do with communities, we do like different workshops. Churches will have us come and do wellness workshops, and a new thing that we're rolling out is millennial workshops, like how to cook quickly on the go. So that's one of our things, really to attract the millennials. So that's what I like to do in the community myself. So
That's awesome. Well, you're no stranger to 3ABN. You've also hosted Creative Cooking on Dare to Dream, the 2nd season of it. And so I've had the joy of tasting your food. I'm looking forward to tasting what you're going to be making today. Well, I'll be assisting, but what you'll be making today, I planned on tasting, but we'll work it out. We'll work on it. Tell us what we're going to be making.
So today we're going to be making stuffing casserole, creamy squash soup. We will also be making the turkey pot pie, asparagus, and we're going to finish our meal off with a sweet potato casserole.
Oh, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. So what's in our first recipe?
Okay. 1 cup of chopped celery, 1 sweet onion chopped, 3½ cups of vegetable broth, a 1/4 cup of aquafaba, a 1/4 cup of cornmeal, a 1/4 cup of vegan butter, a 14-ounce pack of dry stuffing with seasoning, Himalayan salt to taste, as well as vegan chicken style seasoning.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. So where do we begin with this recipe?
Okay, so I'm really excited because we're gonna start with one of my favorite ingredients, which is an onion.
Okay.
It just gives you so much flavor, and it is really good for you as well. So how I'm gonna start off with the onion, I'm gonna cut off, you know, the ends.
Okay.
And then after you peel it, then I'll cut down as well. And then I just like to make little slits and cuts into the onion.
Wow, you do that a lot faster than I can.
I just, you know, when you make different slits on it too, and you go in the inside, it helps to make it quicker. So now we can chop it into multiple slices or pieces.
Nice.
All right, so then we're going to chop this onion, and for the next ingredient, we're going to use celery,
Okay.
which we have some right here. So what we can do is heat up our skillet.
Okay. Now, do you want it on high heat or low?
You could do like medium heat.
Medium? Okay.
Medium to medium high.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay. Now we're gonna put a little bit of the vegan butter.
Okay.
And
let me
also
grab
if you have a spoon, that'll be great. So for me, Thanksgiving, like I was telling you, is like a really big time for our family. We get together, eat a lot of good food.
Uh-huh.
And I like stuffing and this dressing recipe because it's filling, it's quick, it's simple, especially for someone that's on the go, doesn't want to spend a lot of time. I like this for that. So right now you're letting the butter melt, which is great. And you can put your onion in here as well.
Yeah, I love Thanksgiving. Family gets together, you get to eat a lot of great food.
Yes.
You're gonna put the onion in there.
Yep, you can put that in here.
Oops. Leave it to me to make a mess.
No worries at all.
All right. Good.
There you go. And so the next ingredient is the celery.
Okay. Is
So-
this like a staple at your house?
You know, I love this during the holiday seasons, whether it's Christmas or Thanksgiving. So the great thing about the celery is that it has like anti-inflammatory properties.
Nice.
So it's good with that, and it's very low calories. So for me, eating things like this and eating more plant-based has really helped me to grow. So one of the things that I like to share with my talks is that, you know, health is a journey. And so dishes like this help along the journey because it's not really labor intensive. But yeah, so this is one of my favorite dishes. So
Do you just let it sit or
just
do you
let it
stir
simmer for a little bit.
Okay.
You want it to let it crisp. And to season it, we're going to use a little bit of the vegetable broth.
Okay.
So you can start pouring. Yep. And that's good. All right, so now what's gonna happen is the onion and the celery is gonna start to take on the flavor of the vegetable broth, so it gives it a nice seasoning. You don't have to put a lot of different things in it. It's just kind of like your one-stop shop, which I love.
Nice, yes.
Yeah, so you can give it a little stir.
Okay.
So what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Me personally, I love collard greens.
Collard greens.
I do love collard greens. I
wow.
like macaroni. I like mashed potatoes, dressing, the stuffing. I just love food.
Yeah.
I'm a foodie at heart.
Me too. So, and also too, like, so you can you smell it? A little bit of the, isn't that great? The
That smells
aroma
good.
is so good. So it just starts taking on the different flavor and seasoning of the vegetable broth. And so as that is going, we're going to add the stuffing mix.
Okay.
So we'll pour that in there. And you can
All of
actually,
it,
yep,
or-
you can pour all of it in.
Okay.
And then you can actually kick up the heat a little bit.
Okay. Let's see here.
Perfect. So you want to get it to sizzle, and then now you're going to add more of the vegetable broth.
All of it, or?
I'll tell you in
me
step.
when.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that's good.
All right.
So you just gradually are pouring the vegetable broth in so that you make sure that it's able to be, if you can give that a stir, so that the stuffing casserole and the stuffing mix can be able to absorb it gradually. So you just stir that all together. You'll go to the bottom of the pan. Yep.
This is nice because it's, like you said, it's really just layers the flavors.
Yeah, I really like it. And so by getting the herbal seasoning from the pack, it also does the seasoning for you too. So you don't have to buy all these different ingredients.
Yeah.
The ingredients and the different seasonings that are listed are for additional flavor if you want to add something more. But it's kind of like your one-stop shop.
Gotcha.
Perfect for a millennial or someone who wants to cook on the go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or if you got a whole bunch of other dishes to prepare
There you
for
go.
Thanksgiving, if nobody else is doing the cooking.
Yes.
Here you go. Simple is
Yeah.
best.
I like to work smarter.
Yes.
So that is a great one. So you just keep stirring that.
Okay.
It's going really well. You can reduce the heat a little bit. I think it's starting to.
All right.
Yes. All right. So the other additional thing that's actually unique that is not in a lot of stuffings is cornmeal. And cornmeal is great because it has a lot of nutrients in it, and it also has protein as well as carbohydrates in the cornmeal. So it's just really packed with nutrition. It's gluten-free, which is nice.
Yes.
So what you can do with this, so what I like to do is make a little pocket. Okay. I like to make a little pocket or just move aside some space on the pan, and just so that you can see it, just kind of made a little space right there. And so now I'm going to put the cornmeal inside.
Okay.
And I'll add vegetable broth and then stir that together.
Just in its own little?
Yep, just in its own little
area
stir
there.
that. So it just makes a nice like mush. And there you go. And then now mix it in.
Okay. I'm going to turn this way.
Yep, sure.
And try not to make a mess here.
Yeah, smart. And then you just fold, just like you're doing, you're folding it over. So all of the flavors are combining and becoming one, which is nice. And then as you keep doing that, I'm going to pour a little bit more of the vegetable broth and finish it off.
Nice.
All right, so that is all of that. And then we're going to add this, one of my favorite ingredients.
What is your,
I can't wait to tell you about it. It's used often in the restaurant industry, and it's something today we're going to use at home. You may have heard of it. It's this thing. Do you know a lot of times people are talking about combining ingredients and they have maybe different fillers when it comes to vegan food? This is a low cost, quick, effective solution for combining things. It's looked at as an egg replacement.
Oh, really?
So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. So, now, basically what it is, are you ready? Drum roll, please.
What you got?
Okay. So what we have is chickpeas. So this is actually the liquid from chickpeas.
Really?
Yeah. So you take a can of chickpeas, you take the liquid from the chickpeas, and then you'll take a fork.
Okay.
And you just do this until you start to see foam forming.
So that's that aquafaba stuff?
Yes, so you can, the type of density that do you see, just like you would have if you were to make eggs, do you see how it foams at the top? Like that? So if you continue to whip this also can turn into a meringue.
Oh, okay.
So this is a really good replacement, but we just want it to be a binder. We don't want it to turn to anything else. So you can take that off the heat.
Okay.
And now we're going to put it in a non-stick pan or baking pan. Yep.
Nice.
Okay. So I'll put this over here.
Okay.
we will layer this. So you want to have your nonstick pan, and then you'll go ahead and put this in there.
This is going to be the interesting part here.
Yes.
Watch yourself, it's hot.
Okay.
I do not want to burn anybody, you or me.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do you see how it just is like smooth?
I do.
It's what I like about that is then we're gonna bake it and we're gonna get that crisp, you know, topping, but still warm and delicious and smooth in the inside. Okay.
Let's see. Well, we're getting it in there without spilling any. That's what I'm
Yep, there you
talking about.
go. Skills.
Thank you, thank you.
No problem. Okay.
All right.
So now I'm going to pour pour the portion of the aquafaba into the mixture. Okay.
And then do you stir
Then
that?
you'll stir that. Stir that in, just mixing the aquafaba right now and making sure all of the ingredients are getting that. This is a good binder.
Gotcha.
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect. All right, and so now
I'll let you work on the presentation part there.
Yep, and so I like to layer it, and it just depends on like what you like. If you want it to be all one layer, you can smooth it down just like this and bake it. If you'd like it to be a little crispy or just, you know, like rough around the edges, then you don't have to smooth it down.
Gotcha.
So we're just smoothing it down.
And then we pop that in the oven.
Then we're gonna pop this in the oven, and for about 15 to 17 minutes on 375 degrees.
All right.
And you're done. So
Love
we'll
it.
go ahead and put that in the oven and start on our next dish.
Lovely. What is our next recipe?
Our next recipe is creamy squash soup. The recipe calls for 16 ounces of cubed squash, 2 cups of vegetable broth, 1 cup of water, 1 white onion chopped, 1 tablespoon of water, 3 to 7 sage leaves chopped, 1 tablespoon of garlic, Himalayan salt to taste, and optional coconut milk.
Wow, so we have the creamy squash soup. Now, I see we have some nice, what looks to be natural ingredients here. Where do we start mixing all this together?
Yes, so I'm starting off. If you could heat up the
Okay.
pot.
You want it on
You could
low
do
or high?
medium.
Medium? Okay.
So now we're going to use, the cool thing about this, you know, you can either use an olive oil, like an extra virgin olive oil. I like cold pressed because it's less, it has less of a
It's better.
process,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah,
less
it's better for
processed,
you.
so it's better for you. Exactly. But then there's this new movement too, where it's like less oil, if at all. So one of the things I like to try doing is cooking with water. So it's also less expensive. You know,
Yeah.
water comes from
Yeah.
your faucet, which is great. But anyways, it's really good for your body as well. So we're gonna pour a little bit of water.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. And then we're going to add onions.
Okay.
There you go.
Just
Perfect.
dump it on in there.
Yep, and we'll also add some garlic. You may need a little
little
spatula
spoon.
for that,
Okay.
or spoon.
I definitely want to taste this.
Yes, and so what I really love about garlic is that they have different antibodies in it. It really helps to build your immune system. So actually during the cold season, what I like to do is, you know, combine garlic as well as ginger, and a lot of different things that are strong for building up the immune system. So it helps, so when colds come, I'm really not
just
as
knock it
worried.
out.
You know, like, yeah,
Yeah.
you can knock it out, or you can be preventative and you don't experience as much sickness. But for me, especially around a lot of different people, this really helps to decrease the time. So I like garlic, where it's powerful.
So in other words, food can be
nutritional.
preventative
Yeah.
in nature.
Yes, yep. So
Interesting.
it's amazing how like God designed food to also heal our bodies. Oftentimes we're always told like, does it taste good? Which is great, it's important. He created us with
Yes,
taste buds.
yes,
He did. And the cool thing is that with taste buds, food can also heal our bodies and help our bodies. It can fuel our bodies. So that's why I like cooking plant-based. So,
Gotcha.
yep, so you'll give that a stir.
Okay, let me grab this spatula here.
Perfect. Yep, and if you notice that it needs a little bit more liquid, you'll just add a little bit more there, and so stir that.
Nice.
So right now we just want to make sure we saute the onions and garlic to really allow the flavors to be released and the oils to be released from both. So if you actually go ahead and give it a little smell, you can be able to,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, can you smell it?
I smell it.
Smells great.
Yeah,
Good.
It smells good.
Okay, so we have that. I'm gonna put a little bit of vegetable broth in there. Now this is just similar to the stuffing casserole. We'll give it a nice flavor.
Okay.
So allow that to cook in there. And
Stir that a
so,
little bit.
yep, go ahead and stir that. And when it comes to the squash, you could definitely buy it whole and just cut it up if you like.
Like little cubes.
Into little cubes, you can do that. One thing that I like to do is in the section that already has cubed them for me in the refrigerator.
Because we're going through quick and
quick,
that's
effective,
right.
you know.
Right.
So you can get them either in the freezer section or you can get them in the refrigerator aisle.
Okay.
So here's the cube squash. So you can pour that in there too, or put that in there.
All right, let's see here. So what are you thankful for?
Yeah, so you know, Thanksgiving is a really good time to reflect. Like you said, what am I thankful for? To answer your question, I'm thankful for all the different things, you know, that God has placed in my way. You know, all the different time after time, you know, all the different blessings that He's given me, and just this whole journey. Sometimes I realize, like, God will ask us to do something, not just for us to help others, but also it is how we are directly connected to Him, and it's helping us. So I'm just thankful for, you know, community.
Okay.
And support groups are like one of my favorite things, because you know what I've realized, you know, when doing ministry in different areas, a lot of people will say, you know, I don't have anyone, or I needed this group, or I needed, you know, it's nice to connect with people, you know, like what I've found is that, you know, in this world, when we have like, it's like who we surround ourselves around can really dictate our outlook on life. So what I'm thankful for is having a healthy community and being able to go out into the community and share that love. You know, local churches are a great place to find that community too.
So in other words, if somebody's watching and they don't have family, they can find their church family, their support groups. There's all kinds of things. So you don't have to be alone on Thanksgiving.
Right. Yes. So that's definitely one of the things I'm thankful for.
Okay.
And so for the dish, we're also going to pour a little bit of the vegetable broth in there and let it cook down.
Okay.
Yeah, and another thing I remember in Romans, it's essentially, you know, God has called us to love our brothers and sisters in Christ, and just really love one another and put others first. You know, the world tells us to kind of like focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Very self-oriented.
Yes, self-oriented. But what I like about, you know, Thanksgiving, I think it's also a great time to get in the community and give back. Yeah. You know, and to build those connections and relationships with people, not solely for gain, but genuinely to help and serve. So that's one of the things that I really like.
Yeah. That's along the lines of Christ's method. You know? I mean,
exactly.
You get to know somebody, you assess their needs, you meet their needs, and then you end in evangelism. I like that.
Yeah,
that's
so
really
ministry in the cities is a huge passion of my ministry and of mine, and that's really the goal, is really ministering to the city, mixing and mingling.
Yes.
So with the squash, I forgot to tell you, with the squash, it's really great for you because it also has beta carotenes, which is great for your eyesight.
Okay.
It also has potassium, it has fiber as well, and fiber is excellent for weight loss.
Okay.
I mean, excellent for weight loss. So it, in the sense that it's not something that clings to you, it really helps to allow your body to get the nutrients that it needs, and it acts like a broom and takes away the things that you do not need. So we're just gonna let that simmer. Okay. And as that is simmering, the other thing that we can either do, so this is optional, this is our coconut milk. Okay. And the other thing that you can do is pour a little bit of the coconut milk into into it now, or you can wait at the end and just drizzle it.
Okay.
So I think this is about ready. What we're going to do is we're going to pour it into our blender,
Okay.
and we're going to go ahead and make our soup.
I think you'd probably be a little bit better at doing that.
Oh,
than I
okay.
am maybe with this.
Sure. Can I have the spatula?
You sure
just in
may.
case?
I have a feeling you've done this a time or two before.
I hope so. All right. So you just pour it directly into the blender.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, put the top on. All right, so we have the squash soup, and we can actually put a little bit of pink Himalayan salt if you like to
Okay.
add a little extra flavor into it.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like a little salt, not too much. Of course, we don't want hypertension.
Exactly, just a little bit to
But,
accent.
yeah,
That's
a little
all.
balance. That's right. That's right.
And it's done. The only thing you can do at the end, if you want, you can also top it with sage. You can add coconut milk in there to get it more of like a rich, creamier thing. So you can add the coconut milk and the sage, and you're done.
Nice. Well, what's our next recipe?
So our next recipe is the turkey pot pie. It is a cauliflower-based soup that we're starting off with, and that calls for 3½ cups of cauliflower, a half white onion chopped, 2 tablespoons of water, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, Himalayan salt to accent, a cup of vegetable broth, and 1 cup of soy milk. For the filling, we're going to have 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, a half onion diced, 2½ cups of frozen hash brown potatoes cubed, 2 cups of frozen vegetables, 2½ to 3 cups of veggie turkey or your veggie meat of choice, 1 sheet of puff pastry or vegan crust, 2 tablespoons of liquid aminos, and an optional 1/4 cup of vegetable broth to reduce the thickness of the sauce.
This recipe, I'm a little intimidated by all the ingredients we have here, so I need you to tell me how to get started.
Okay, so these are good questions. This is, I will say, a little, it's a 2-part recipe. So what we're gonna do first is make the liquid that's gonna be inside of the recipe. So we're gonna start off with some cauliflower, which is excellent because it's a cruciferous vegetable, and it has preventative properties. Some studies have shown that it can help with cancer prevention. So cruciferous vegetables are really, really great to add. So we're gonna start with that. But before we do that, we're going to first saute with a little bit of water. You can pour that in there. All right. And we're gonna put the half of the onion.
Half of the onion?
Yep, a half onion, chopped.
Here. Get my trusty spatula.
There you go. You can pour it all in. Oh, sorry, that is a half onion.
Oh,
I'm
gotcha.
sorry.
Yeah,
my
I was like,
miscommunication, no problem.
yeah, I was about to pour half of this in
You're
there.
like, what?
I didn't want to overdo it.
No problem. So you got half an onion chopped. And then we're going to add the cauliflower, which is really great. It's a cruciferous vegetable, and some studies have shown, like we were saying before, that it can really be beneficial for your health. We're gonna pour that in there, stir that around. Now, do you like bland food?
Do I like bland food? No.
Like not
No.
Me either. So that's why we're gonna add one of our superstar ingredients, the vegetable broth, low sodium.
I love it.
To give it some flavor.
Yeah.
So we're gonna pour this in there.
Okay.
Now, the onions the onion and the cauliflower are gonna get that flavor, so you're gonna let that continue to cook. And for the creaminess, we're gonna add some soy milk in there as well.
Okay.
All right, so you can go ahead and stir that.
Nice Thanksgiving special.
Yes, I love Thanksgiving.
What is this?
This is garlic powder, so you can go ahead and put some garlic powder in there. And then I like to, just to accent the flavor, I like Himalayan salts.
Okay.
This is less processed salts, and it's essentially derived from parts near the Himalaya mountains.
Nice.
Which is a really cool accent. I love the pink salt. So we're gonna put this just to accent the flavor. So I wanna be careful that we don't put too much, but just enough to get some flavor.
Okay.
And so, like you were saying, like Thanksgiving, one of my favorite things is this is comfort food. We're
Yeah.
making comfort food, like
Yes.
pot pie, this delicious. You just want to be at home with family, friends, around a fire maybe, just
That's
like
right.
that time for fellowship. So this is one of my favorite dishes that I'm gonna make for Thanksgiving. So this is great.
All right.
Okay, so we're letting this simmer. You can kick up the heat to medium high, if not high all the way.
Okay.
Take that for you. And then we're gonna start on our next part of the recipe.
All right. So now,
Okay.
now what do we do?
So now I'm going to chop up some onions.
Okay.
And this is gonna be the base for the pot pie.
I love onions. I love garlic.
Yeah,
I love all that. It really adds flavor to whatever dish you're making.
Yep. And one of the things that I like with using all these different veggies, oops, sorry, I lost a few. The thing that I like with making or cooking with these veggies, you know, studies have shown that when it comes to like disease and different things like that, 70% of chronic diseases are caused by lifestyle.
Wow.
So, I mean, you know, oftentimes we're like, oh, it's just food, but our food can really impact us either
Yeah.
right away or down the line. So that's why I like to always say it's about a journey. So this cooking is not solely just like for flavor and taste. This can really help us to live longer, healthier, happier lives.
Nice.
So I'm gonna cut this down.
But flavor does help, though.
Flavor does help.
Flavor does
It
help.
does help.
Yes. Okay.
It does help. That's important. Yeah, I know when I first tried plant-based food, I was like, you know, and flavor is really, really important to me too. So it's important to season well.
Absolutely.
And with all the recipes that we have, you know, as you taste it, you know, you might say, hey, I would like to add a little more garlic to it. Go ahead. You know, this is very flexible. It's a good base.
Now, should I stir this a little bit? 'Cause
You can stir it a little bit. There you go.
bubbling.
That sounds
here.
good. And take this away.
All right. That garlic going there. So you like this for Thanksgiving? You can make this anytime
You
too.
really can.
Really, yeah.
It's a good comfort food.
Absolutely.
And so now you've got that going. We're going to go ahead and start with our next pan while that is cooking.
Okay, I'll turn that on.
All right.
You want it on high or medium? Or low?
High. You could do high for now.
Okay.
Keep the pan up. And we're going to first start it with our base. So we're cooking with water.
Okay.
So we'll pour this in. And then we'll also add the chopped onions.
All right. So we got the chopped onions. Oh, what's that?
These are potatoes.
Okay.
I'm really excited about this. We've got the garlic, the superstar,
Okay.
a lot of medicinal properties, and it's
Add
very
some more flavor.
flavorful. Okay, so we've got that, and then we'll also put some vegetable broth in there. This is
Okay.
another good way. Seasoning.
Season it up, flavor.
Yep. You can also put that at the end if you want to, you know, make it less or more liquid. If you want to make the sauce more fluid, you can add more of that or less of that. It just
Okay.
depends. If you want it thick, then we're going to add our
Potatoes.
our frozen chopped potatoes in there.
Okay.
All right. And then you'll go ahead and stir that, let that simmer and cook down. And then you'll also add some veggies.
Some mixed veggies
Mixed
here.
veggies,
Okay.
frozen mixed veggies. All right.
Nice.
And if I can have your cutting board, so if you can go ahead and continue to stir that. I'm going to work on the veggie meat they're adding. So when you think of Thanksgiving, what do you think of? What's really popular?
Honestly, the first thing I think of is food.
Okay,
That's the
food.
first thing I
Okay.
think of is food.
Okay.
What am I gonna eat?
Yes.
You know, what family is coming over? First thing I think about is food. And then I start thinking about family and the get-together and the camaraderie and just time, like I remember when I was a little kid, we would always go to my great-grandma's house in New York, Rosalie Jones. We would go to her place in New York in Queens, and we would all eat, and then the guys would go watch the game together, and the ladies did whatever the ladies did, but we all, you know, got to hang out together, and it was a beautiful thing, you know. And then also with Thanksgiving comes thinking about the less fortunate, you know, how can we help them out? So sometimes it might be going to a homeless shelter and feeding people or whatever the case may be. But Thanksgiving it's always a happy time for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things, along with Thanksgiving, like you're saying, I think about is turkey. A lot of veggie meat. You know, you can for this recipe you can put all different types of veggie meat in it, and this one we're adding turkey to it.
Okay.
And so you can get a vegan turkey in your frozen section. And what I love about it is when you cut it down, see the consistency of that?
Yeah.
It's just so nice. You just cut it straight down, and then we're going to chop it and put it into our recipe.
Is it tasteable at this point? Or
yeah, you can sample it. Yep.
It's not going to kill me?
No, it's not.
Okay.
You can go ahead and try that. How is it? It's pretty good?
That's actually pretty good.
Okay, nice. I'm glad that you like it. So you can go ahead and chop this up, and we're going to add it into our mixture.
Okay. I'm just going back and forth here.
Yep. And
Do I want to turn this down?
Nope, that's good.
Okay.
So what the point of this is to tenderize the cauliflower.
Gotcha.
And once that's tenderized, then we're going to put it in the blender and you know, put it in for a sauce. So that's just tenderizing right now, cooking down. And then we're sauteing the veggies and the potatoes to make sure we get all of the nutrients. Do you see all the different colors right here?
I do.
I love that because that just shows you all the different types of nutrients that you're getting. You have your beta carotene and your carrots. Look at all the leafy greens or the green beans in there.
Yep.
Chlorophyll. It's just excellent. It's really, really great to see all those things coming together.
Yes.
And potatoes are non-fat, so sometimes if people go on a non-fat diet, potatoes are actually a good thing. The thing that becomes fat is when you add like the butter and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
But right now with the potatoes, that is nothing, you know, it's not fat. And as you're sauteing this, if you realize you'd like to add additional liquid, or if you'd like to use a little extra virgin olive oil, you can do that and just keep sauteing that.
Nice.
Okay, so we've got that going. Now I'm going to add the veggie meat in.
Okay.
And then also, you're talking about flavor. That's like one of your things.
You gotta have some flavor in your behavior. I love it.
Completely.
You gotta get some flavor.
I completely agree with you. Now, can you smell this and tell me what you think this is?
I think it's liquid aminos.
I think you might have a great nose.
I think I love food.
This liquid aminos is really awesome to me because our body basically makes 11 amino acids, and amino acids are the things that are inside of a protein. So you need to get the rest of the amino acids from the food that you eat. So they call it the essential amino acids. So this is one of them. So that you can actually get this and add it. It has protein in it, and it really helps us to get that full, all the different nutrients that we need. So we're and beyond the health benefit, it's less sodium than soy sauce, and it will give you a lot of flavor.
Nice.
So we're going to add this. You can turn the heat down a little bit.
All right.
And if you decide, hey, I would like to add a little bit more, you can go and do that. Just make sure you're careful and tasting along the way. If you add additional.
But don't put the same spoon back in because we don't like that at the house.
Caring is not sharing. Wait, caring.
Sharing is not caring when it's your germs.
There you go.
That's right.
You don't want that.
That's right.
All right, so we're gonna put this in there and keep stirring that together. Great, beautiful. So now we're going to add some Himalayan salts, and we'll just do this to accent the flavors.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
there's that. You can go ahead and mix that in. Now with the dish, if you notice while you're cooking your dish, like, hey, I'm losing some liquid, as we were doing and, you know, talking, having a good time, I know we can add a little bit more liquid. So, Jason, if you don't mind, can you get some soy milk from the refrigerator?
I sure will.
Okay, cool.
You want to switch with me on
Absolutely. Go ahead and switch with that. So if you notice, hey, I'm losing a little bit liquid, you can reduce your heat. You can add a little bit more back in if you've lost some along the way. So we're going to add some in there. Perfect. That's good. All right. So now this is done. We're going to put this in our blender now.
Okay.
And this gives us a great base.
Oh, the holder's
Give
here.
some oven mitts.
Yeah.
Awesome. Can you help me? Can you
I
hold
sure
this
can.
and I will maybe pour this in. Okay.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes, it does. All right. Oh, wow. Precision is key when it comes to this.
That's right, because you definitely don't want to spill.
And the great thing about this is a one and done soup. You can put all your ingredients in and get it done. So, all right, so now we've got our ingredients inside our blender. We're gonna put our top on there and fire it up. And guess what?
What?
We're done.
Oh, wow.
We're absolutely done.
That's
so
beautiful.
now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add this in. This is going to be the cream filling for the pot pie.
Okay.
So just going to add this in.
Stir that around.
And stir that around.
Okay.
There you go. And while you're doing that, I'm going to get out our crust. So you can get your a puff crust at your local store. You can get a vegan puff crust or a vegan crust, and you'll just add this to top off the recipe.
Okay. Yeah, at first this was a little intimidating, but you know what? After making it and all of that, it's not that bad, and I'm sure it's going to be delicious.
Well,
the turkey is
That
good.
means a lot. You are a good critic, so that means a lot. So does this look like a pot pie to you?
It does. It
Awesome.
definitely has that, takes on that pot pie filling consistency.
All right, so if you want to, if you don't want it that thick, you can also add more vegetable broth at this stage. So this is optional, you know, you can adjust it. So we're gonna pour this in here.
Okay.
And actually I can probably spoon it because that's a big pan.
Yeah, that is.
So I'll spoon this in here.
This is probably like one of the biggest pans I've ever seen.
World's greatest pan ever.
That's right.
So this is like a good main dish, and this will, every other thing that you put around can get your sides. And I like this, it's kind of an easy one pot wonder after you get the sauce done. So there we have that.
All right.
All right, so now if you can look right here, this is what the filling will look like. You can actually add more liquid to make it more creamy, or to make it have more liquid inside, and then we're going to top it with our crust.
Nice.
Just like so.
And then we just pop that in the oven?
Then we pop that in the oven. You can put some slits in it. Sometimes I like to put some slits
Nice.
in the middle.
Now what does that do?
It allows the dish to breathe
Gotcha.
and allows everything to evenly distribute. And it's also mainly for me, it's just aesthetically pleasing. I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. What's our next recipe?
Our next recipe is asparagus. For this recipe, you'll need 15 to 20 asparagus, 3 tablespoons of water, 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, 1 tablespoon of garlic, 1 teaspoon of chicken-style seasoning, 1 teaspoon of oregano, a half lemon squeeze, and salt to taste.
All right, that sounds like it's gonna be flavorful.
Very flavorful, and it's quick and simple. So what I like about asparagus, this is like so nutrient dense.
Okay.
It actually is one of the top 20 foods on a specific index that measures how much nutrients are in it. It's the ANDI. And it's the aggregate nutrient dense index, and this is one of the top 20 vegetables that are on it.
Wow.
So asparagus is really powerful. It has protein in it. It also has fiber, which is really great for weight loss and just keeping us balanced. So enough talking about the health things. Let's get to cooking, okay? So we've got the skillet. I'm
Okay.
gonna start cooking with water. So if you can turn that on, you can put that on a medium high. So you get that going, you'll put some water in there. And so we're cooking with water so that we can reduce, the different fats that are added into the dish. So we have the water going. And now we're going to put in some garlic, some minced garlic. You could also use powder. I like to use minced garlic. So there you go. That's perfect. And for the next thing, we're going to add the asparagus.
Okay.
And for me, just like we're saying, the power of a plant-based diet. And, maybe along the journey, it's not something that you need to do completely 100%. Maybe it's something that works well, just adding it slowly. But on the journey of the plant-based diet, I just really saw a lot of impacts of noticing from energy to, just mood, effectiveness, sharpness. There's actually a story.
Is it Daniel?
Yes, there is a really good story. Daniel. So Daniel, he went on this fast. And for a multitude of reasons. And when he went on this fast and he went plant-based, they actually found that he was 10 times wiser than all of his companions within a short period of time. So just, I like to listen to that story. You can actually see it or listen to it on YouTube, or you could go directly to your Bible. Daniel has it's called the Daniel's Fast. And just learning the story and the history behind it is really good.
We were actually covering Daniel on Salvation and Symbols and Signs.
Oh,
So
nice.
people will be able to watch it on there as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice.
Here, why don't you, you want to switch sides with me?
That sounds good.
Okay.
So I'll take this asparagus in here. Genesis 1:29 always reminds me, God gave us all herb-bearing seed at all the trees for us to be as meat and food and substance. So I really enjoy, that original diet.
Yeah. You notice you have more energy and all that, and clarity, a clearness of mind and all of that after eating a plant-based diet?
I do, honestly. And one thing I kind of think of is do you like cars?
I do.
I think of it like we're a car, right? In a sense, when you have a really nice car, what do you do? Do you, let's say if your car took premium oil. So what I'm doing as we're talking about this, I'm just sauteing the asparagus in the water and the minced garlic.
Yeah.
And then just allowing it, you see the color coming out. We're also going to add a little bit of nutritional yeast flakes if you want, or chicken style seasoning. Nutritional yeast flake is optional. It's not on this recipe. If you want, you can add that.
Gotcha.
Here is chicken style seasoning. Nice. This gives it a nice flavor. We'll have also our dried herbs in there. All right, but yeah, so I think of it do you like cars?
Yeah, so if you have a car and you're gonna put it calls for premium gas.
What would you put in it?
Premium gas.
Okay, so and what happens when people don't put premium gas in their cars?
You're polluting your engine. Your engine gets damaged over a period of time, and it's just not good.
Yeah, it's over a period of time, we may not feel the impact right away, but eventually it starts showing up. Like we were saying, 70% of chronic diseases is caused by lifestyle. So if it may not happen right now, eventually it catches up, unfortunately. So this is the great news. We can actually take control and make some good health decisions and really take care of our bodies as God designed it to.
I'll tell you what, Nicole, it's a lot cheaper to do it this way as opposed to dealing with the effects of eating bad later on down the line. Hospital bills are not cheap.
Yep.
It's cheaper to buy some asparagus.
That's true. All right, so now I'm going to take the lemon and just cut it in half, and we're going to let that continue to cook down. Now, as you're cooking, if you notice, hey, there's not enough liquid, you can add a little bit more liquid to it.
Okay.
So I'm going to add some water.
Okay, I've got some right here, actually.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
Thank Thank you.
You're welcome.
So just add a little bit more water. It depends on how crispy you want your asparagus, so you can continue to add water. And then we're going to top it off with some lemon juice.
Nice.
And let that just continue to cook for a little bit. There
Nice
we go.
zesty flavor.
Yes, and it really accents it. It gives it a nice pop. You have your garlic and salt, your sea salt. If you want to, you can add some. Can you pass it to me?
Yep.
Thank you very much.
You're
you can add some Himalayan salt to taste.
Okay.
All right, and we are literally done with this recipe. So
Nice.
once you're done, you can put it on here.
Go.
There we go.
I feel like I'm in the operating room with you right now.
Oh, do you?
All right.
There you go. And we can also top this off with a little bit of herbs too.
Oh, nice. A little extra flavor.
Yes, so there you go. Those are our grilled asparagus for our Thanksgiving dinner.
Nice. What's our next recipe?
Our next recipe is a sweet potato casserole. For this recipe, you'll need 6 to 8 sweet potatoes, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, a half cup of coconut sugar, 3 tablespoons of vegan butter, a 1/4 cup of cassava flour, 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon, 1 cup of raisins, 1 cup of pecans, 1 cup of orange juice, and additional liquid if necessary.
I love sweet potatoes, and I'm excited about this dish. So where are we going to start with this?
Yes, so we're going to start our sweet potatoes. You can take your sweet potatoes and chop them up into chunks, into
Okay.
different measurements, like whatever you like to do, chunks or cubed. So I have chopped up the sweet potatoes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start layering it into our baking dish,
Okay.
like so. And then we're going to also make a crust from it as well.
Okay. So you're going to layer it and then make a crust.
Yep, so we're gonna layer our sweet potatoes and make sure we get that in there. And so, you know, I love sweet potatoes. Definitely they have beta carotene. They're great, especially if someone has like diabetes or something, is far better. It is a complex carbohydrate, so
Okay.
it breaks down slower. So now what we're gonna do for the different seeds, can you hand me a spoon by chance?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're gonna take this coconut flour. Isn't that interesting? Look at the color and everything.
Yeah, I would have never guessed.
Yep, so we're gonna actually, this is coconut sugar, sorry. We're gonna take the coconut sugar.
Okay.
And we're gonna pour it in here. We'll also put our vegan butter
Okay.
in there as well. If you could get a spoon.
Another spoon?
Yep,
Sure.
another spoon. Then you can put in, this one, the flour.
Okay. So we got the flour.
And you can
here.
replace this flour with another one. So for example, if you would like to use like a garbanzo flour or a coconut flour, you can replace that as well.
Okay. What else do we have?
All right, so we're gonna put our cinnamon in there.
Okay.
All right, and then we're gonna put vanilla.
Okay.
All right, so this is all in the food processor.
Love it.
Then we're going to
Put that on there.
put this on.
Sometimes these food
I know.
processors are a little tricky. There we
Thank
go.
you.
You're welcome.
All right, so I'm gonna mix it together. Okay, now we're going to put the raisins
Okay.
and the
And we need to, in a
Pecans?
minute, we're going to talk about how people can book you. They can get resources from your
Yes.
website, all of those things. In a minute, we're going to put up your contact information.
Okay.
Because, you know, while they're looking at this delicious food, they can actually book you to give them wellness
Yes.
seminars or cooking classes or all kinds of stuff. They want you in their community as well.
Yes. So this essentially now you just combine all the ingredients, you put it in your oven and you'll bake it and then you're completely done.
Okay, so let me
And then you pour
put
that in
this
there?
on top.
Great.
Should
So you
spread
mixed it.
out.
So now all we do is just mix everything together,
Okay.
put it in the oven, and we're done.
Nice. Wonderful. Put that in here. All right. So, like I said, they can book you for cooking classes, right? Wellness consulting,
Wellness workshops.
wellness workshops.
Like to do different workshops attracting millennials, talking
Okay.
about how to cook quickly and fast. So for example, easy meals, that's one of the things that we're doing as well, so they can book us for different workshops in their local area. We really like to connect the organizations with the community. So that's a great thing that they can do as well. And they can go on our website to get resources. So if you would like to keep updated with what we're doing, if you'd like to know our upcoming materials with cooking, go to our website, aroundtheworldin7days.com.
Yeah, well, we're going to get ready to go to that address
Sure.
roll, and it'll have all that, your
Good.
contact info, all of that. Let's go to take a look at that right now.
Nicole is the founder of Around the World in 7 Days, working to improve the health in communities around Detroit, Michigan, through wellness workshops, cooking classes, and wellness consulting. If your church would like to share a message of holistic wellness with your community, then visit her website, aroundtheworldin7days.com. That's aroundtheworldin7days with the number 7.com. You may also call 248-270-2103 or write to Around the World in 7 Days, Post Office Box 871-362, Canton, Michigan 48187.
Wow, I can't believe this is almost over. This food was amazing. Let's go over what we made today.
Okay, so today we made a stuffing casserole. I really love all the different flavors in there. This is really quick and easy. And our next dish we made is a creamy squash soup. Now this is something to write home about. I love that it's so filling, the flavors just combine together. The coconut cream just accents the squash so well. The squash also is really good for you nutritionally, and this is a great thing to start off your Thanksgiving dinner with. We also have our asparagus, which is accented by our lemon juice. Wow, look at the green pop on that. You can just see all the nutrients. This is like a very nutrient-dense vegetable. Not only that, it's flavorful. So I like to accent it with that lemon juice, garlic, dried herbs, and then we move on to our next dish. We have our pot pie, and this is a beautiful puff pastry. You can also put a vegan crust on that as well. You have your creamy vegetables in the inside. That is a good staple. It's a good main dish. Then we finish off our dinner with one of my favorites, which is our sweet potato casserole. There, all you have is the walnuts, the coconut sugar, the sweet potatoes. We have orange juice to really give that liquid. We have raisins, and we have some cinnamon in there. Bake that, and that is how you close off your Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, wow. I mean, I got the chance to taste things and everything like that, and you're making me hungry again. Thanksgiving is such a wonderful time. I hope you enjoy your time with your family. Thank you for sharing these recipes with us. Until next time, God bless.
Happy Thanksgiving.